I'm Salad, and I saw Without Warning, the 1980 version. It is directed by Graydon Clark. If you haven't seen this movie, I will spoil it for you. This is requested by a Patreon. If you like the fast track of movie review, patreon.com/ASEPresents. On with the review. Immediately, I get very campy vibes. However, I like the story. The way that the drama unfolds, we are following a son and a father. They're having a good old time in the mountains. They're next to this creek. There's a stream which is apparently upstream from the lake. They're having a good old time when this weird flying saucer critter kind of deal just attacks the father. It starts sucking his blood, and the practical effects of this are creepy and gross. It looks like there's pus coming out. I like the color red, very, very colorful red blood that's happening. And the creature itself looks very disgusting, so kudos on the practical effects. The acting is lackluster. Oh boy. There are moments where I'm like, okay, so here's a strong character moment. And then almost immediately, it's butchered by either the performance or the writing, and I'll share some examples of that when it comes up later. So the son and the father are now dead. There's a group of teenagers, they're going to the lake, they go to this gas station, there's this weird man, he's like, don't go to the lake, man, don't go there. And they're like, okay, I guess we won't go. And then, you know, in typical teenager fashion, they lie to the man so they could leave and therefore go to the lake. And there's a bunch of chaos at the lake. I like how many people die, not at the lake early on in the movie, but they're dying upstream from the lake. And you can see there's some sort of alien creature in the grass who's sending these saucers out. Just making sure that people get got. And I wonder, do these saucers provide some sort of nutrients? Like they throw them out, and then whatever they get from the human, then that alien gets the nutrients from that human transferred to them? Like it's some sort of Bluetooth or something? Bluetooth feeding, maybe? Like, kind of like that. That's probably the closest I can really think of getting to it with something that exists. There's snow in my eye. Jeez, it's snowing. It was not snowing in this movie, though. It was summertime. Everybody was having their arms out, exposed to the air. Yeah, that's what was happening. They're at the lake, and guess what? Their party gets attacked with the saucers. And they're running. There's two teenage couples within this one teenager group. One of the couples is walking alongside the lake. One of them is just at the van-ish area right in front of where they're parked at the lake. The couple at the lake, not the one walking alongside the lake, that couple is making out, and then the saucers come. And it's like, oh no. But it doesn't show them getting saucered, it just implies that they got saucered because they weren't there when the couple walking around the lake comes to where they're parked. And they're like, wait, where are you guys at? And so they're like, okay, well, it sucks. They were supposed to be here. It's been like an hour, we're waiting for them. We gotta go look for them. They're looking. They eventually come across a shack, and the shack is where all the people, all of the dead bodies are stored. They're just hooked on these meat hooks, including their friends, and they're screaming, we gotta get help. And of course, we have this couple. They find help. They go to this place, and this place seems like a cafe. One of the members of the cafe, they're like, yo, I know exactly what you're talking about. The other one's like, come on, man, this is fake. And what's annoying to me is how much they're like, this is incredibly fake. Until we see the freaking alien man. Even when the lights go off, even when there's signs of an alien rumbling happening, all of the signs, they're like, yeah, it's fake. I'm like, bro, it's not fake. It's clearly happening. Why are you doing this to them, man? They clearly need help. So all this happens, they're trying to escape. Of course, I like how the girl, she's a red herring of, oh, is she dead? Nope, she's not dead, actually. But it turns out later on that the boyfriend dies, and the chick is still alive. She's like a final girl. And then there is that guy who thinks that they're part of the aliens, tried to run them down. It's weird, like he's accurate, but then he comes up with more crazy things. I'm like, okay, so this character must be really crazy then. Why am I believing him? Because he knows about the lake. He knows about the lake critters, but why is he attacking me? Well, because he's making stuff up. So it's kind of confusing in that, right? I feel like the people were right at the cafe, but are also wrong, and Matt has a lot of mixed feelings. I wish it was more cut and clear and dry. But humanity is not like that. Nothing is in the black and white. It's always in the grays. Of course, she's trying to escape. He gets got. They get into an altercation with the alien. Boyfriend dead, LaCroix. She just goes, pew, and it's not dead. Of course, they have to hatch up this plan. The sergeant and this chick. The sergeant, he was in a lot of wars. He had a lot happen to him, so I have sympathy for him there. And there was a lot of good moments where he's like expressing himself. I'm like, this is a really good character moment. And then later on when it's like, oh, he's crazy, I'm like, man, you just kind of took away the character development. He gets a redemption when he's like, well, I guess I'm gonna stand next to the shed, put the dynamite down, and just stand next to the shed, lure the alien to me. And then when it comes here, I gotta blow it up. And that's how they defeat the alien. This is a weird, campy movie. At the very beginning, it has such campy vibes. It's so cozy. I'm like, man, I like how they're bad at acting. The line deliveries kind of suck, and the writing's a little bit wonky. But the overall idea is really fun, and I enjoyed it. Nothing was heavily saturated. There was a lot of earth tones in the color palette. It was a very earth tony movie. I don't have any sense that they were intentional with the colors that they used. The colors may not be intentional, but the values definitely were. There was a lot of scenes where in the dark, a lot of the characters were heavy in shadow, and the monster is very heavy in shadow because you're not supposed to see the monster till like the very end, and then you destroy it, right? The monster is almost never lit until the last scene where you do actually see him, and it's kind of in a creepy light, underneath light, where it's always the creepiest when you have things lit from underneath because everything's lit from top down, like everything. So if you see something that's lit bottom up, that's like, oh, that's creepy because it's unnatural. That's not how light works, or that's not how the sunlights work, you know? I will say, I think the gross yellowness and the red correlated with the critter, that's supposed to be uneasing within this world of earth tones. Everything cool and fun and handy dandy is in earth tones. Everything pertaining to the monster is yellow and red in this, and also gray. The monster itself is pretty gray. What do you think of this movie? Have you seen this film? If you like sleepaway camp, it has kind of like the same vibes in the way that they act and the way that it's shot, and also it has a good horror twist at the end, very horror-y-esque. There are moments where I'm like, man, I really like this because of how bad it is, and it's not bad in such a bad way where I'm like, I hate this. It's like bad in an endearing way. They're trying, okay? They're making a movie, and the story itself is pretty entertaining, and I like the tension. I was like surprised at the level of tension that was going on. I was like, yes! This is pretty cool, actually. I was not expecting this. Let me know if you've seen this movie. Let me know if you end up watching it because of this review and what you think of it in the comments below. I gotta give this movie, it's a solid 6.6 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another on the platform who likes it. $20 dinos at patreon.com/ASEPresents. One movie review per 1 month. Go to this link tree, support the daily grindiness of all them daily movies. So you can go here. And until next time, in salad saw, I'll see you later. My salad croutons and bacon bits. Goodbye. I'm gonna look for that alien.